Okay, Pastor Mike, what's going on today?
Well, here's how we put the panels together. We took an 8-foot 2x4 and we left it 8 foot so that we could recycle it later.
Okay.
We put together with pocket screws that we can undo. Basically, all we're doing is just building a box.
That's pretty cool.
And putting a board there with a clamp just to hold it, to make it easy to make sure it stays in the right place.
Right.
These are the feet. Build the base. And we'll do the same thing at the very top, and it's all put together with screws so we can take it apart.
Okay.
We tried to leave the lumber in pieces that we can reuse later. And I'll just do that.
Okay.
On the other side. Usually I do 2 on each one, but you don't need to watch me do that. I'll come back later and do 1 more on each side. Then we're going to take the sheets of styrofoam. When we got the styrofoam, it was donated. It was on its way to the Evansville landfill. They were redoing the schools in Oakland City, and there were tens of thousands of cubic feet of styrofoam. We hauled for weeks, and it was all 4x8 sheets mostly, but all different thicknesses. So the Lord helped us to build a machine with a hot wire to slice them to make them all the same thickness, and really just operated like a giant cheese slicer, like you'd slice Velveeta, except the wire was hot. So this sheet might have been 6 or 8 inches thick, but we sliced it down. This is the same stuff that we're using under the floor that all the concrete's going on with the heat in it. And so, but this is going to be used for something else before that happens, and we're going to be using it for our temporary classrooms. So I've got the bottom of the box built. The feet were already on there. Now all we got to do is just stick this in and finish the box. We're building with lumber. That was all coal lumber, and the Lord provided it for us at about 25 cents on the dollar. But even at that price, we'll recycle it and use it again as soon as we're ready to make permanent classrooms. And the second floor above me here, this lumber will all get used again in that construction. So nothing goes to waste.
Sounds like you're really doing it economically.
Well, you know, Jesus has been in the salvage business, you know.
I heard something about that.
So it's not too unusual that He put the same things in our heart. Now once it's started, it'll hold. I'm using screws 3.5 inches long, so once they're in place, they pull it tight. So you don't have to worry about it slipping or coming loose.
And Pastor Mike, I noticed that right behind you there's a room that looks like it's made of the same partitions that you're building right here.
Yeah, that's the first room that we built. That was that's our nursery center. I'm about to slide off of our.
All right, I'm going to take a look at this room while Pastor Mike continues. All right, we've got a nursery. This is a temporary nursery, and it's really nice. Really worked hard to make it presentable. All right, and Pastor Mike's back with his partition and getting in the home stretch of it. Okay. Just about there.
It takes about perhaps 10 minutes to build one. So we cut all the parts out and pieces out ahead so when you put it together it's like building the model. And the last thing is the styrofoam is not actually attached, it's just squeezed in place.
Okay.
So because we don't want to damage it because we're going to use it again. So to hold it in place, we've got a long bar clamp that we used when we were gluing up all the raised panel oak doors. And actually all I'm going to do is squeeze it in place and then put a scrap piece of lumber across it, so when I take the clamp off it'll still be tight, and that panel will stay in place. It'll be plenty tight until it's time to take it apart and use it for something else.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us this, Pastor Mike. Now we know how to build temporary partitions.
There you go.
All right.
See you later.